Soul Bridge Tribe. All right, we're on to intermediate videos these days. So I'm going to be explaining what Reiki is. This is a complicated topic because people don't just walk into Reiki, and this is my 34th video, and so you need to watch the previous videos, because if you don't understand anything but what energy is, and you don't do the precursor steps before doing this to someone, you won't understand what Reiki is. You need to learn how to ground, run your energy, put your aura around yourself, put white light, put protection. You should know how to connect to your spirit guides. And Reiki is an ancient form of healing. Ray means like the cosmic or universal force, and it's a path of light. I'm bringing that Reiki energy down. It's the Ray, and then Ki or Chi means energy. So Reiki, Rei Chi, it is a path where this energy travels down. And I'm using my conscious ability to visualize and move energy with my mind. And this takes specific training to learn how to do this. I worked 7 years with Lama Gaiden, and his whole name was Lama Pima Gaiden Zongpo. This Tibetan Buddhist Lama worked with me and other practitioners, and we would be there a couple of days a week, having people on the table and practicing our art. Reiki is very hands-on. It's something that you learn by doing. You learn it through experience, but you have that master teacher who's guiding you to tell you what it is that you're feeling, so you can explain. What does this sensation mean? How come I can't feel this? How come I feel that instead? Because some people feel heat, some people feel color. And then after the Reiki 1 level is Reiki 2. The intermediate student starts to learn transmissions. They learn symbols that they use. And then by the time you're at Reiki 3, a master can make another master Reiki practitioner. And usually you're not supposed to haphazardly make masters all over the place for profit. You're supposed to make a master to replace you. So I have not made other master healers, and I have been a Reiki practitioner for more than 30 years. So I want to give you a little bit of background. Reiki is a Japanese form of complementary therapy. This is right out of Wikipedia, right? They call it complementary therapy. I call it Eastern healing. It's an Eastern healing approach. A practitioner places their hands on or near a person's body. Usually I only have to put my hands in the person's aura. I don't have to put it on them. Sometimes you will see people place their hands on the chakras, and sometimes I can do that too, but sometimes I don't even have to touch the person, just their aura, because if you've studied my previous videos, you know how many layers there are to the aura. And so when your hands are in there, you can already perceive what's going on with the energy there. To channel universal life force energy, Ray translates to universal path, and Ki or Chi is the life force energy. Okay, this technique is based on the study and observation that energy can become unbalanced, and a session helps clear blockages to restore balance and well-being. And then there is a discussion about something that has gotten lost in translation, which is what a master teacher is. And especially when you're working with energy. If I do my meditation and connect with my spirit guide, and my spirit guide is a healer, that person is enhancing my focus and my ability to heal this person. I showed a picture that I had drawn about the lady who thinks she's alone in the room, and she's got 2 angels and 3 guides in the room with her. Pretty crowded room of beings that you can't perceive that are around us. But anyway, you are not doing this by yourself. And by the way, you're not channeling your own energy either. You're channeling life force energy through you, so you're a conduit. This is channeling down through your arms and hands into that person's aura. And it gets, put into their chakras, and disseminates to areas where it draws energy. Okay, so the lineage of master teachers began with Dr. Mikao Usui. He was the founder of Usui Reiki in Japan. That was in 1865, but it goes way back before that, because these are ancient healing techniques that weren't really being discussed outside of the Buddhists, who kept these beautiful healing modalities, these apparent abilities to work with energy manipulation and energy healing, kind of unseen in the Western world. They kept it under wraps. They did it for a really long time before they decided to share this with the Western world. So his first master student was Chujiro Hayashi, one of Usui's students, a teacher who developed a structured system of Reiki. So they tried to write it down, create something that's more systematic so that Westerners can understand it better. And that was up to 1940. And then, Mrs. Hawayo Takata, all the way up to 1980, was a student of Hayashi, and that person brought Reiki to the Western world. So up until 1980, so just about the time that it was being brought into the United States, is when I became a disciple of my Lama, and I was made a master teacher because his health was failing, and he knew that he wouldn't be living a lot longer, and so he passed the Reiki lineage to me. So I am a master teacher who carries this lineage. So it says when Miss Hawayo Takata came, she trained 22 Reiki masters, and they helped spread the practice throughout North America and the rest of the world. So those masters disseminated everywhere, and they created students. Unfortunately, there was a problem when you try and make this into a business, because now you're teaching people who think that they're going to learn something where they can start a business, and it becomes more about an exchange of cash or labeling yourself to do something, amazing, so that you can boast about it, or so that you can have financial gain. And the intention for that is not as pure as it should be. Because if you're a real Reiki master, you are connected to the lineage of all these previous teachers who are now in spirit, right? That is a spiritual connection. It's hand over hand. It's a chain of energy all the way to you with the help of your spirit guides. When you're putting your hands on those people, that lineage is part of the energy that you're channeling with the help of these now crossed over guides. An attunement is what you get when you become Reiki level 1, and an attunement when you become Reiki level 2, and a master attunement if you become a level 3 master. So you don't just pass a test in a book and they give you a certificate. They literally do an energy attunement to your body and put symbols in the chakras that cause you to be able to connect to the master teachers. So, later generations, it says, from this foundation, many different Usui Reiki lineages have emerged. There shouldn't have been many lineages. There should have been only one lineage with those same master teachers connected to that lineage. With practitioners tracing their lineage back through the teachers and students who followed Takata. It was through that, if this practice is not shared with the world, it may die out, even though there's a fear that such teaching is sacred and needs to be respected. So, at the point where you're in intermediate classes, and especially when you're working with Reiki, it's not a toy, and this is not a game. So I have the ability to share this on the internet with you, but you need to be mindful, respectful, practice meditation, grounding, running your energy. All of the previous lessons are very, very important before you get to this point. Ensuring the traceability of teachings and energy connection. An increasing number of Reiki masters were attuned by Reiki masters who were not told about their lineage, and they're not properly attuned. And yes, this creates an issue, like universities issuing credentials when they're not accredited. It's about knowing your lineage. It's about the chain of master spirit guides and spirit who are bringing energy through to you. And so that is something for you to keep in mind, that I got my lineage from Lama Pima Gaiden Zongpo, and it's being passed to me. And so what you're being taught is the usui method, and I am teaching to the best of my ability to help you learn to heal yourself and do simple healing to help others. That's my goal. Okay, so chakras. Reiki energy will gather in the chakras. So imagine that I'm channeling this energy from above and placing hands on someone, and it's flowing through me. Now, have you seen Christians doing this? Yes, they called it the laying on of hands. Did you hear about Jesus doing this? Yes, it was called the laying on of hands. So does it go back to Jesus' time? Absolutely, because Jesus was in the East and he was picking this up, and he came back and taught it to his people around him. So yes, it's very valuable and it's very real. And when he put his hands on lepers to heal them, he was channeling energy. So there's no doubt that this is extremely valuable. Even while I'm talking about it, I can feel my hands getting hot, just getting excited about that lineage, right? And how the energy starts to flow. And it's true that when you're master level, it never stops flowing. And the Lama warned me. He goes, "Are you sure you want this master attunement? Because once you have it, you can't turn it off." And I said, "I think it's my life path." I'm going to start tearing up, right? I think I was meant to do this. I think it's what I know how to do and who I am. And so this is the correct life path for me, to learn this skill set, because it is who I am and what I identify with. And I'm a healer in this world. So yes, thank you for the honor of being a master healer. Meridians. Okay, so you know what the chakras are, right? That's that train track, with the chakras being the little train stations up and down the train track, which is that energy cord that's going down your body. Okay, that grounding cord, right? And there is also a belief in meridians. So you'll see in some Asian medicine the idea that you have lines of energy that go down your front and lines of energy that go down your back. They may also fall along the left side or the right side. In Chinese medicine, the left side is yin and the right side is yang. So you might have yin and yang meridians, or you have yin and yang because of your left and right sides. And because each side and the front and back use energy differently, there might be times when, if it's an internal struggle, it's going to be more yin, and if it's an external circumstance, it's going to be more yang. And so the way that the energy is getting blocked in your body might be more on one side than the other, and the Reiki practitioner can pick up those energy blocks and where they are. And if it's around here, I would say it's either throat chakra or heart chakra, so you can figure out which chakra is stuck too. And then you can look at the size and the color of it to figure out to what degree it's stuck and whether you need to make it smaller or larger, or help it to get more regulated and spin correctly and clean out debris so it shines the right color. That's much more advanced teaching. What I'm doing right now is very simple, but just so you know, there's a lot to Reiki. Okay, so I wanted to teach you about a simple symbol that can be used in Reiki. It's a power symbol. It's called Choku Rei, and I'll be going into what Choku Rei is. Choku Rei in Reiki is used to amplify and concentrate universal life force energy. It's often described as a light switch, but I've got a lot more description than that, and I'll explain it to you. For a Reiki session, it's used to initiate and increase the power of healing energy. The symbol can be used for purification, protection, and to focus energy on a specific area or intention. Okay, so that said, I'm going to show you what Choku Rei looks like. And no, don't draw it on everything and act like it's some sacred, thing. We're not witches here. This is not witchcraft. Okay, I'm going to turn so you can see my paper pad, okay? This is what Choku-rei looks like. All right, do I need to get closer? This is awkward. Let's try it. From left to right, bringing energy across. Then a grounding cord, bringing energy down. And then it swirls counterclockwise like this. Okay? That's the Choku-rei symbol. But now let's describe what it means in reality, what it actually is, okay? That first line, if you imagine looking up, and I'm probably gonna have to stand back to do this, but you're bringing energy from the sky across and then down the grounding cord, straight down, and then you're swirling it, okay? You're swirling it as if you took your hand through a bathtub full of water and went swish, and when you swish it like that, the water, if you have bubbles in it, you went swish, you'd see that the bubbles are starting to fall in line and follow the vortex that you created. That's what you're doing. So if I swish my hand through, the water speeds up and it starts to fall in line and follow the pattern that I gave it. Okay, now let's look what that looks like from Google Earth, shall we? Okay, let me stand back. I'm going to show you this. Okay, here's the Google Earth version. Ready? Hands up in the air. I'm going to reach forward. I'm going to pull it toward me. I'm scraping the sky. Scraping, scraping, scraping. I'm going to cloud level here. And you're either using your fingers to scrape it, or you're kind of like just trying to gather up as much energy as you can. And then I'm pulling it down the grounding cord. If the person were sitting in front of me, I visualize myself do that. I'm not literally doing this in front of someone. They'll think you're kind of weird, okay? Scraping that, pulling it down into their grounding cord. And now it's not so much a matter of going right. It's not a matter of making a circle like you're drawing on a piece of paper. You're not looking down at it. You're swirling it through that person. It's like stirring a pot of stew, right? And what I'm creating is a vortex in the person. Down the grounding cord, making a vortex in the person. Now what is the goal of that? I'll sit down again and I'll tell you. When I asked you to run your energy, in our lesson about running energy, where you bring brown earth energy up and white earth energy down, what do you do then? You swirl them around. Start at the bottom, go all the way up, swirl it up around, and then break off debris, break off whatever's in it, so that you can, pull that bathtub plug and drain it all out and you're clear. That was swirling motion also. We're starting their energy system flowing. We're speeding it up a little bit. And it helps them to break things loose that need to come out. And we're helping the chakras. It's energizing the chakras. So I'm bringing cosmic, universal, life force energy down into their body. I'm stimulating all the chakras is what I'm doing. Okay? So it's not just a symbol on a piece of paper. Now it is possible for a beginning student to misunderstand that and think that it's a flat symbol and they're just drawing it in their head, If you're drawing it in your head and then you're shooting people with energy and you drew that symbol, okay, that'll work. I mean, it's a powerful symbol. It's your understanding of the symbol at the stage that you're at. But it's a very powerful symbol and it's an amplifier. And so when you're doing Reiki healing on someone, using Choku-rei really does help amplify the energy. I'm going to be demonstrating how to do a Reiki healing, and I will be using a live volunteer, but that probably won't be in this video. That will be later on. For now, I just want to go into an introduction on what Reiki is and show you that symbol so you can practice that. When you do Choku-rei, okay, and I start to use that symbol, and I start to feel the energy come down my hands, practice on plants, practice on animals, practice on yourself. Okay? There's Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism. One is service to self and the other one's service to other. There's nothing wrong with healing yourself. Healing yourself is a great way to start. Balancing your own chakras, working on yourself, looking for blocks. You are your best student. Start with yourself. And then when you get a chance, if somebody else has a complaint, they're catching a cold, their back hurts, their knee feels funny, my daughter comes to me all the time, I burn my finger, I bump my elbow. It's a good thing to help that person. And again, there's nothing wrong with just laying on hands, because this is what Jesus was teaching people. But with the Choku-Rei symbol, like they would do in a level 1 class, it does help amplify that energy and help it flow faster. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you again in the next video. Like, share, subscribe, and click that link below and buy me a coffee. All right, luminous beings, stay luminous and have a lovely day.